Here.
Earl Kurtz.
Here.
Matt Bowman here. Casey Downs.
Here.
Jim McKinney.
Here.
Chris Affey.
Here.
Sean Strollo. Tom Selmont.
Here.
Jeff Natale.
Present.
John Helsinger.
Here.
Anita Blake. Paul Cowlus. We have a quorum.
I pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Could we call Anita up here? One, two. Anita? Sit up here.
Mike, you want to do the call?
Sure, you just have open, continued public hearing, the adoption of the update of the plan of conservation development for 2026. Yeah, sure. And I'm gonna turn the floor over to Robin Newton from Tyke. She's gonna go over the memo that she provided dated March 3rd, which kind of highlights follow-up from our last public hearing.
Is this thing on?
Yeah, you're on.
Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to go through the memo, and then if you have any questions that you want to ask regarding what we updated, please feel free, and we'll go through those. So at the last month's meeting, of course, we opened the public hearing, and there were some comments from the public, which we took note of. And then in consultation with your town planner, we went through to make some revisions to the plan and do some updated goals based on what was heard at that meeting. In particular, number one, the implementation table we updated. There was a lot of comments about the time frame column that was in it, and I think I spoke about that at the last meeting. I kind of felt like it was maybe misleading because it's saying sort of they should be done within those time frames, and that's not really what a POCD is. So we went ahead and we changed that to priority levels, so there's low, medium, and high now in that column. So we did send those over to Mike so that he could take a look at. We didn't hear back, so I'm assuming that means they were good to go. So that's one change on your implementation table. The Energy Commission's information, we went ahead and we added some language in on Chapter 7, and we added action items about developing a comprehensive energy plan, investigating the use of microgrids, and achieving gold status with sustainable CT. So you will see those in your implementation table as well and under that chapter. Chapter 4, we just added a reference to traffic congestion under quality of life. While you do have a transportation section, it did come up that obviously transportation, traffic congestion here in town relates to the quality of life. So we just wanted to make sure that it was mentioned in that chapter. And so we did go ahead and just put a little bit of a reference in there for that. We updated the name of the ambulance service. In Chapter 4, we added a reference to see Chapter 6 for more discussion about the town's open space parcels. We referenced the Mixville Park Master Plan and removed language regarding Bartlam Park. We added language regarding Parks and Recreation having sufficient maintenance crews. We added a goal of constructing a bridge to connect the high school and the Farmington Canal Heritage Trail. Chapter 6, we added the language to see the Conservation Commission's webpage for further information regarding the town's open space. We do highlight a couple of the properties in there, but really that's a function of your Conservation Commission, so we wanted to make sure if someone wanted to find and see those properties, they knew where to go to do so. We did add a couple of paragraphs regarding invasive species, future land purchases, and maintaining riparian buffers. They were added into Chapter 6. We also added language about using native plants as a goal, also in Chapter 6 and in your implementation table. And then we added a goal of incentivizing the removal of invasive species as an action item, along with establishing a program for town-owned properties for the removal of invasive species. So those were the big items that we updated in the POCD and action items that we added to the implementation table based on that feedback from the meeting.
Any questions from the commission?
Go ahead, please.
For number 12, so incentivizing, or describe that again. So how are you going to incentivize, or how are we going to incentivize?
So that's a good question, and that's going to be a word that the town comes up with, how you're going to incentivize. So whether that's having, for town-owned parcels, a budget that you give to Parks and Rec, if it's a Parks and Rec property, or if it's a property that the Conservation Commission is in charge of, maybe it's giving them, that was the terminology that was recommended during that public hearing, so that's the terminology that we carried over for it.
So is it a requirement?
It is not a requirement. So again, nothing in your POCD is a requirement. This is not a regulatory document. This is basically an advisory or a guidance document. You can do some, all, or none of the recommended actions and goals that are in this document. It's just meant to be a guide for not only you, for developers, and for other town entities to look at as you progress over the next 10 years.
Any further questions from the commission? And we are recommending adoption of this?
Yes, we are. This was forwarded to the Council of Governments. We received a positive referral from the Naugatuck Valley Council of Governments. So staff, at this point, we've spent the better part of a year and a half on this. We did a lot of public outreach. I think we've incorporated as much as we can, and recommend adoption. This is a very good document.
Any further questions? Anything from the public?
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm Karen Schnitzer. I live at 18 Currier Place, and I'm on the Environment Commission. And I want to thank you all for keeping the hearing open until this date. And I want to thank you for the changes that you made and additions. I think that it was significant. I appreciate that. The only one thing that I would like to offer is that in Chapter 6, I see mention of the Conservation Commission, but technically we are an Environment Commission. They are not the same. So you might want to change that in the POCD.
Actually, by statute, the Environment Commission functions as your Conservation Commission. So your statutory function is the Conservation Commission. We may call it the Environment Commission, but it's still, it's a Conservation Commission by statute.
All righty then. Thank you.
On page 61, we should take out Norton Farms. It's listed as a farm, no longer is. They've closed their doors. They announced it publicly that they are no longer a farm, so I think that should be taken out as a list of the farms. Yes, you'll do that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything further from the public? Please give your name and address to the record when you have to.
Good evening. I don't know if this is on. Good evening. My name is Bryna Shane, 62 Hilltop Road in Cheshire. And I want to say that I watched the February 9th meeting at home on Zoom, on the YouTube, and I just had a few thoughts, but mostly they're just pretty much summary thoughts. But I wanted to thank all of you, because I know that you've worked a couple years on this, maybe more, and I wanted to thank you for all the wonderful work you did on this plan of conservation guide, as you put it. And I think it's most impressive. I think it's far-reaching, and it certainly shows all the work and the efforts. And I also want to thank you for the amendments, mostly, that you made. I heard most of them when I was watching it about Mixville Park, based on Bartland Park, and it's really not, so to speak. And I'm glad that you were able to make those changes And that's probably the most important thing I came away with, was to consider the comments of the people that were here, that I agreed with mostly, to be honest, and what the Environmental Commission had to say. And maybe when you list it in your plan, you could put Environmental Commission / and then use the other word, so that, because it goes by both names. So you could maybe put a / in between. But that's basically what I wanted to say, because it's not only, it really should mirror what the people are looking for who live here. And it should be, combine everything to be a valid document. And that's basically what I want to say. It took a lot of work. I was very impressed. And thank you. I'm glad we could all come together and have a meeting of the minds. That's important to me, to get along with everybody and one another. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
With no further, I'll close the public hearing on this.
Motion to adjourn?
Made and seconded, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? So moved. Going into the regular hearing. There's been a roll call. Approval of minutes. Sorry?
Roll stays the same.
Roll stays the same, yes. Approval of the, have a motion of the approval of the minutes of the public hearing?
So moved?
Second. I had a question about the minutes. In the regular minutes, line 46 and 47, it says we passed it 403 and then another one 502. Wouldn't that lead to believe that it was like four for it, 0 against, and 3 abstentions? Shouldn't it be the other way around, or does it matter?
No, it's pro,
Pro, con.
con, abstention.
Yeah, so this one's 403. And this one
Yes.
says 502.
Yes.
But there were 3 people against it, I thought.
You went against it, they were abstaining.
No, I think it was 4-3. Or was it 4?
What is this regarding? I'm sorry.
Line 46 on the regular agenda?
Is it approval of minutes?
Yeah.
Those individuals weren't present at the meeting, so they recused themselves.
Okay, so that one was 4.
Yep.
Then the
The
original
same.
amendment was 5-2. Oh, that was,
Yep.
okay, my bad.
Yep.
Okay. Then I'm good. Thank you. Sorry.
All right, on the approval of the minutes of the public hearing? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? As for the regular meeting?
Oh, abstaining, sorry.
We did them both.
We did both, okay, we did them both at once, okay.
Yeah, John?
Yes,
I'm abstaining. I
Abstain-
wasn't here,
yes.
and I didn't get my packet.
all right. So that's 8281, 80801. Communications?
Just a reminder, we have the AquaTurf banquet on March 26th. Everyone here was signed up. See everyone at the AquaTurf on the 26th. We'll send an email out to remind you. Mr. Chairman, if it's okay with the commission, I'd ask you to go out of order on the unfinished business and do the plan of conservation development discussion first, since we have our consultant still here.
Okay.
So we can let her go. If that's okay, if someone,
Without objection?
okay.
I'd like to move the plan of conservation and development as proposed.
Could I maybe make a motion? I have a motion for you, a motion to approve the 2026 Plan of Conservation Development based on presentation documents provided. The effective date for adoption will be March 13th, 2026.
So moved.
Any discussion?
Yeah, assuming there are some things or multiple things in there that I don't agree with, is there an opportunity for me to bring them before this commission?
Well, the,
During a public hearing.
I'm not the public, I'm up here.
well, there's currently a motion on the table right now.
So,
It's
And we are
been presented
discussing
to
the
us.
motion.
so you could have a discussion on the motion, and
Yes.
if, Mr. McKinney, you have items that you would like changed in the POC, this is the time that you could bring that to the commission as amendment.
Okay. If you'll give me a minute, I've got it.
No,
I had a question. It said something to the extent that there's a 5% vacancy rate. Can you verify your source on that? Because I'm on the MLS, and I hardly see any houses that are up for sale or apartments for rent. So can you explain where that came from, the 5% vacancy rate? I'm sorry, I don't have that right in front of me, but it was in there.
Sure, let me see if I can find it.
Page 15, the very top, chapter 2.
Thank you.
It came right to you?
no, yeah, go ahead.
No. I'm waiting for a
Oh,
response
for response from her,
on the 5%.
yeah, because
All of our
5% of
housing-
10,000 is 500, or not 500 things.
Pardon?
All of our housing sources came from the American Community Survey dated in 2020. So unfortunately, when you're looking at statistics, when you do POCDs, there's nothing that's going to be like a 2025 statistic because those
No,
aren't
I-
out yet. So they're dated statistics, unfortunately. It's a snapshot in time when we're pulling from those readily available sources. So by the time you write these and publish them, statistics that are inside of them are always going to be dated.
I don't disagree with that. I can't ever remember a time there was 5%. So I will get from you and I will go back and double check it. Somewhere it talks about the Highway 384,
We corrected that.
okay? To be honest, I'd like to table it, have a nice list, but that's me, so I will vote against this motion. Because I have probably 15 or 20 things I thought I was gonna be able to discuss.
Jim, you should do it now. You have the
Yeah,
floor.
you have the floor.
Absolutely, do it now. Don't feel like you're closing out.
Require bicycle parking, I don't like the idea of requiring anything of people that I don't have to. That's one of the comments on page 71.
Is there any chance you can put it up on the screen? Okay, thanks.
Can you get my copy?
Because our hard copy is the older one.
No, the one in
front of
you is the updated.
Which, okay, I didn't even see that. I brought my old one, okay. So
You
what
asked me
page?
for an updated one, I printed it for you.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so we're on page 71.
Did you have any more? I have. Kind of hard.
Is that what page you're on, Jim, 71?
I'm jumping all over the place
Okay.
depending on where.
Jump where you want.
Okay, it was 70, I think it was 71.
I don't see that on page 71.
The old copy it was about the bike park.
Yeah,
Okay, so I don't know where it is on the new copy. You have an old copy there, but that's. what you
okay,
have.
let's
That's what
skip
we
and go
have.
on to the
Yep.
next one.
Yep.
Expanding the historical district. I don't think that's a great idea, but that's my idea.
I'm sorry, Jim.
In an effort to preserve historical buildings, we should consider implementing a demo delay ordinance for one. That is not something I would back. Page 32, third from the bottom. town should consider implementing a demolition delay ordinance. I spoke to one of my constituents who was vehemently against this and for very good reason, and I thought that some of my other colleagues from prior discussions were of the same opinion.
So,
Can I answer that? Or can
could I?
Yeah, I
could
was
answer
referring
that
to
maybe?
Matt, but sure.
Okay.
So those were action items that were presented us by the Historic District Commission, if you recall. They came before the board, they've been working on a delay of demolition ordinance, which is through the town council. That is not an ordinance that would be implemented by this. And honestly, it's a POCD, it's just considering. You don't have to adopt this, you don't have to achieve the goal. I will say my professional experience, I've been employed with four communities. This is the only community I've worked for that does not have a delay of demolition ordinance. It does not, as was stated at the public hearing, impact someone's property. It simply puts a delay on the demolition. Demolition is still processed. It gives the ability for a possible salvaging either materials or adaptive reuse of the structures. It is not something what was said to you at your public hearing. And I say that with my professional experience, like I said, with the 3 communities I worked for. This document is heavy in placemaking. One of the things that you should really consider about placemaking is the importance of your built-in environment. That's why, having a regulatory historic district and a delayed demolition ordinance makes sense. But like I said, this is non-regulatory. It's not binding.
But my understanding with the ordinance that the town council is now looking at, it
Correct.
only pertains to a limited number of properties.
Correct. It's
was-
not.
it was only like a few
the
hundred
version that
properties.
that town council's been looking at, not to get too deep in the weeds, but it's very specific to a start date. It's not like other communities, I will tell you.
1925 or 27?
2025 was the last discussion.
I've been watching it.
Other communities I've worked for, it's just an age of a structure. If it's greater than 50 years old, it's subject to the ordinance. This is not as aggressive as the draft that the town council's deciding on eventually.
So this is limited to properties over 101 years old. No
Yeah,
buildings over 101 years old.
And if I recall, the universe of those properties, it's not a lot. I don't have the data in front of me, but we did receive it from the assessor, going through the assessor cards on how many properties that would affect. But
My
once again,
understanding was like it was in the area of one to a few hundred.
yeah, it's not a lot. For example, if you wanted to say, like, how many homes are 250 years or older in town, I know that number, that's 39. 100 years, if you give me a second, I can probably find it. But it's not a large number.
John? Mike, while you're looking that up too, regardless of whether or not this is in here, this is an ordinance via the town council. So,
Correct.
correct? So,
I think you should take out the proposed, because there isn't one proposed at this time. There was one at the time, and that was rejected, and that's why they started the process over again.
Well, then won't there be another proposed one?
But there isn't one now.
I'm for the demolition delay. I disagree with you, Jim, vehemently. I think we should have it less years than 100. So not that we really want to get into this discussion now, but I think that there will be a proposed delay ordinance.
But there's not tonight.
There isn't tonight, but there's,
And it's
I
not
don't know
our-
how you want to change the wording.
Could
And it's not our ordinance to make.
Could we make a suggestion for an edit? Instead of saying should implement, should consider. Then we're deciding, it's not as direct telling you to implement a delay of demolition
Or
ordinance.
implement the town council's version or something, I don't know.
Just consider.
Con-
It's,
It's still in public
investigate,
hearing.
it's in public hearing. You're not saying that you have to do it. You're considering it. And then you can weigh out the options if you want to do it or not.
Okay. I don't want to take it out, Jim. Sorry, I disagree with you on that one.
Okay, that's why there's a multiple, so we
Right.
get a variety of opinions.
Right.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Any further?
Did you have other things?
Nothing that's gonna make any difference. By that, I mean, they're not significant, let it go. Move to the question.
Any further questions or discussions? All those in favor of adopting the plan of conservation development
As amended?
as amended?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
The reflected 8-1 passes 8-1.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for all your work on this.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure working with all of you.
Back to the agenda, communications.
I have no other communications other than the March 26th conference that we signed up for.
Casey,
Yeah, I had asked John if I could speak, and he said to do it under communications, because I communicated with him that I want to speak, so that's how we're doing this. We haven't met in a month, and a month ago, I left at halftime because I was really sick. So I don't think I verbalized my opinion of things as strongly as I would have liked to. And I understand why it may not have made the minutes as strongly as I thought. The memo that we got from the Mara Kemet, whatever, Director of Engineering, dealing with sidewalks that night, number one, I think he should have come. I know he couldn't, but I think if someone's gonna send in a memo, they should be here so that we could ask questions. I strongly opposed how that went. It says right in our zoning regs, update zoning regulations to require the installation of sidewalks for any new developments. His reasons are uneven surfaces, overgrown vegetation, which increase safety risk and potential liability of town, maintenance burdens, upkeep, costly repairs. You'll be plowing the road anyway. It's a town road. You're gonna have to take care of it. So adding sidewalks is a safety concern. I was upset that it ended up being that they got the sidewalk on one side. I couldn't vote because I left because I was sick. It's my own fault. But I think that we should have pushed for sidewalks on both sides and the connection on Weiss Road, because the comments were that it doesn't connect anywhere. The guy from SLR was saying it connects to nowhere. The development across the street, Merlin, whatever that circle is, they were required to put in sidewalks on two sides. This is now the second time we've done this. We did it on Blackberry Hill, Blackberry Road, whatever the street is. We exempted them from sidewalks, and we've done it again, and I'm just vehemently opposed to that. I think we're going down a slippery slope. It's in our regs, it says sidewalks. In our whole POCD, it's talking about town safety. Safety is sidewalks. I think the more sidewalks we can get out of any developer, we should do it. And exempting, I just think we're going down a slippery slope. And I know you disagree with me, you disagreed with me, let me finish. You disagreed with me that evening, but I didn't feel well, so I couldn't really talk. I just had to leave. But I think that I would not have voted, if I were here, I would have voted against it, and I would have proposed that they do sidewalks on both sides and Weiss Road. Just my opinion.
Could I make a suggestion is that, this is something that the town engineer now, we've had 2 applications go before us, and he's had issues with sidewalks. And I know several members, Casey, you're not the only one who has voiced concern about it. Right now, we have 1 application tonight, a site plan approval. Should we have a light agenda the next meeting? I'm going to suggest that we do, 1 is pick up on regulation amendments and do a workshop. 2 would be, this is a good opportunity to have that discussion and maybe ask Merrick to come to the meeting to discuss sidewalks and the subdivision regulations. Because you are correct, it keeps coming up, and it's an issue that we have to come up with a plan of what to do. And
Well, we have a plan, we have a regulation.
So-
We're just making exemptions.
But one, the applicants are allowed to apply for waivers. 2, You have your professional engineer, your town engineer is telling you in instances where in his professional opinion, he's disagreeing with the application of the regs. Hence why I think the best bet is we really should, let's have a workshop regarding the subdivision regulations specific to sidewalk requirements and have Merrick there to kind of speak to his process and his recommendations. One, so everyone's on the same page. And
That's
two-
where, if I mean to cut, I agree with Casey on that point right there, because, I mean, we're getting a professional opinion from our town to let this go through, and he's not here explaining why. So, if it's in our regulation, writing something down on paper really doesn't do it. It's happened a couple times, more than a couple times in the many years
Yeah.
that I've been here, but he's only been here for I think the 2 times,
Two
whatever.
times, yeah.
But we've never really gotten an explanation, and I know some people were angry about it, so I think he should come in and explain, maybe not those 2 reasons, but what's changing that is making this happen, where he's allowing one sidewalk on one side.
Yeah, and because they did a sidewalk study, they also did the ADA accessibility study, which is required by state statute, and that's really what triggered a lot of this focus from the engineering department on sidewalks. So I think it would benefit both the town engineer hearing from you and saying, when you make recommendations like this, we'd like to see you at the meeting.
Especially when you were the ones making a decision on the waiver.
Correct.
But he's the one telling us, in his professional opinion, to do it. It's not right, and if he should be here to explain. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
No, you didn't cut me
that's
off.
the
I was
point.
done.
I was gonna say the same thing, he's gotta come in
Yeah.
and talk to us. but-
I totally agree. Out of respect for the commission, he should be here. So that's why I'm suggesting that as an option of the next meeting. Well, let's have a regulation workshop and sit down with him on that, because if he's recommending changes, at least explain why. So in the commission, you can understand his, more than just the black and white letter that you got.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a point of question, information on our procedures.
Okay.
I was always led to believe that if which I do have an item I want to discuss, it should come up under new business. Is that correct?
Generally, I would say so, yes.
Okay, that's all I need.
I couldn't vote on that application for obvious reasons, but you do, or I think you do, have to listen to your professional town engineer, especially their reasons. I have asked many times sitting here that any time that something is changed in the application, that the professional from the town should be here to speak to that issue. I think it's important with the fire marshal. I think it's important with the town engineer, that they need to be here so we can ask them, why did you change this? What are you doing? Why are you doing it? And I think to speak specifically to sidewalks, Casey, one thing we can't do is make a developer put sidewalks on existing highways.
We can't, but we can ask.
We did.
So what are you
I
gonna?
know
are
you
you-
did. I'm just
No,
saying.
No,
I
but
just-
are you gonna hold them hostage if they don't?
Yeah, I would have.
Well,
I'm just saying, that was me. I would have voted no.
You're
No,
saying
no,
on the record that
Yeah.
you're
Could-
gonna
could-
break the law.
Could I just,
Okay. Sorry.
and I
maybe
wanna, I
let's,
wanna finish.
just one thing, let's avoid conversations regarding either
Okay.
existing
I
applications
retract
and,
that comment.
thank you. I don't want to get in a,
But can I read something that
I
or
just-
you're finished, are you?
You
when
see,
you're
I
done?
got one more thing to say.
Okay.
If we do exempt sidewalks, there should be a fund in place where if a sidewalk, and I'm making this all up, if a sidewalk cost $100 a linear foot, the developer, for the waiver of the sidewalk that we give them, put into a fund for future sidewalks in the town, that should be done.
so
Thank you, I'm done.
that's actually something that the town engineer wants to talk to you about, because in another community that he's, in his previous career, dealt with, they had a fee in lieu of, similar to fee in lieu in parking, where applicants would go forward, request a waiver, then pay the fee, and then use it. Merrick can speak to it more than that.
Thank you.
I just have one more thing. that this was from our Kinetic Federation, the things that you send us out from this summer, and it's talking about a case down in Ridgefield, and it says, "A commission is not required to believe any witness, including an expert. What is required is that proceedings be fundamentally fair, which includes in part providing the expert with the opportunity to address the board and the board members expressing their opinions on the expert's testimony during the public hearing." I think that says a lot for a lot of things, including traffic, that we as a commission, just because someone's an expert and they say what they want or what their opinion is, I think we're still a board, we should have some power to say yes or no. And I just feel strongly about that. I don't like people telling me how to vote. Thank you.
I'm gonna throw this under communication, because it's communication. I wasn't here for the last meeting. I sent 2 letters in for communication. I still, a month later, have not heard why those weren't read into the record.
I can address that.
And I would have appreciated if somebody told me why.
Sure. Essentially, the hearing had not been closed, and there would have more evidence given, and you couldn't put something on the record how you were going to vote when you don't have all of that, and that was recommended by council.
So then if I didn't put commissioner in there, I put taxpayer? Do I lose my rights to
So here,
participate if I'm a taxpayer?
here's the problem, Jeff. You got elected to the board.
Yeah.
You're a regulatory member of the board. If you're not here, you can't submit comments like the members of the public. You have
So I gotta
to,
find somebody to submit.
you
my
have to
testimony
be
for.
here. Yes.
Okay, so I just wasn't happy, first of all, that it wasn't read in, but I was also not happy that a month later, still nobody's contacted me to tell me why. So thank you for telling me why now. I'm gonna agree with Casey, 100%. You know, I agree with you on what you just said. And I'm gonna go on the record, I apologize, and tell me if I'm wrong. For the settlement, I would have voted against it. Sorry. Okay,
No discussion.
no discussion, just statement.
Mr. Chairman, did you receive a communication from the town attorney concerning my prior request, and would that not come under communication?
The communication I had with the attorney was on the
Written.
record with the town attorney in the room during the meeting,
Not a written document?
not a written document.
So I'm the only one that has that?
You asked the town attorney to write a letter to you. He did.
Right, I know he sent copies to people other than me, I think.
To me as staff and to John as the chair, but it was to you, Jim. This was not to the commission.
To John is the chair, you just said, and to the town manager?
Town attorney works for the town manager.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, under new business.
One more thing about the sidewalk. When I used to do with the waivers, when we grant the waivers, there was always something in there that said, if for some reason there's a sidewalk connection to it, or, you know, anything, whatever, they had to put the sidewalk in. I don't think we've done that on any of the other ones. Maybe not Blackberry, because that was more of a issue with the ADA, but we could have put it in there. I mean, say they put a sidewalk coming down Academy Road.
Yeah, let's just revisit the whole sidewalk
Okay.
regulation, the subdivision. I think we really should do that in a workshop setting. Because I agree with you, there's a
It was
lot of.
always there before, and in the last few, it hasn't been in there.
It's a lot of moving parts. It's worth the refresh.
We have a site plan application?
You're up, Rich.
You guys probably saying, finally.
Test. Can you guys hear me? Oh, good. Rich Hall, Borghese Building and Engineering, 2155 East Main Street, Torrington, Connecticut. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and fellow commissioners. I'm here on behalf of my client, Josh Broder, at Centurion Wealth Management right here in town. The application is for approval to build a approximately 11,500 square foot and change. Let me just refer to my zoning table. 11,365 square foot office facility consisting of 3 units. One of them is going to be about 4,412 square feet, the other 3,230 square feet, and the other one 3,610 square feet, for a total of 11,252 is what I have on our description of the project. It's a one-story building. It's got a 12-foot low eave and about a 30-foot, 7.5-inch high eave. The building has been designed for approximately 33 employees total, based on office/reception count for the 3 suites. Hours of operation would be normal business hours, Monday through Friday, with potential for some weekend hours, as the property was previously undeveloped. There is no demolition or any structures required to be taken down. The property has all the typical easements and reciprocal access for agreements with an adjacent lot on 4A. This is actually Lot 4B. It's 104 Stonebridge. The lot is serviced by city water, city sewer, gas, electric, telecommunications, et cetera. Mike, did you want to bring up some?
I'll bring it up in a second. if you
Bring
want
up
to
a
continue.
site plan. I'll just continue down through our zoning information table. So the lot minimum requirement is 40,000 square feet. This one is 56,563 square feet, or approximately 1.3 acres. It's got 400 feet of frontage. It's only required 200. I'm sorry, the width is 200. Frontage is a minimum of 50 feet. 353 feet is what we have. Setbacks, we're within all the setbacks, 25-foot side yard, 12.5, street line, 12.5 side yard. The rear line, we're actually saying it's a 50-foot setback requirement. We're saying NA because the lot has a triangular shape. You'll see that when Mike pulls up the site plan. But I can tell you we're about 256 feet from the back part of the lot. Now I'm going to try, are you guys able to see this monitor? This one over here. All right, well, I'm going to do this a little bit. Yeah, this pointer isn't so great. All right, so here, Stonebridge Court is right here under this dialog box. Okay. We have Lot 4B, which is the one on the right, and 4A. I'm sure you folks are familiar with the Goddard School project as it's under construction right now. We're the lot next door, so there's common access to parking, so on and so forth. There's easements in place for drainage on the lot. The building itself is right here, the 11,300 or so square feet. I'll refer back to my zoning information table here in a second for parking and whatnot. All of our drainage is...
On which side is the Goddard School, on the right or the left?
It's on the
Goddard
left-hand
School
side
would
of
be
the
here,
screen.
right? So these
Okay.
shaded areas that you see here,
Okay.
that's the balance of parking, right? So this shaded area right here, this is all Goddard School parking. This is Centurion Wealth Management parking. The Goddard School building is right in this neighborhood.
Okay.
On the back of the lot, you can just see the edge of the contours there. There's a shared detention pond, a detention pond and basin, drainage basin that services both lots. So you guys would have previously approved the detention basin and the drainage for the Goddard School, and the drainage from this lot drains into it. There's an easement for drainage into that detention basin. Let me just go back to my zoning information table here for a second. So relative to parking requirements, well, let's back up. Max height, 75 feet in the area. We're 30 plus or minus. Lot coverage, there's no requirement. Landscape space, 20% minimum. We have 43%. Landscape space in of gross parking areas, minimum is 5%. We have 9%. We have islands and so forth. Parking, 54 spaces are required based on 1 space per 200 square foot of finished space. And we have 51 regular parking spaces and 3 handicap spaces to bring us to that 54 space requirement. Usually I begin with the end in mind. Mike, have you got, it's the same file that's up on your Cheshire website. Do you have the renderings further down in that file?
I will go to it right now.
That's our elevation. Let's go a little further. I think we have some renderings in there. So, well, I won't say obviously, but one of the concerns with this building was its aesthetic appearance, that we wanted to make sure that we were respecting the architectural palette for that development. It's quite nice. So we wanted to do likewise. So what you see there, this is one end of the building. Maybe we can spool just a little bit, Mike, see if we can see the front. There's the front of the building. You just saw the end of the building. So there's quite a lot of stone on the building. And in the lighter areas, this is all stone here. In these lighter areas, originally we were considering, you know, a insulated metal panel, and that wasn't received well. So all of those surfaces, anywhere where you see that lighter surface, is now going to be hardy board, 7-inch clapboard against stone. So it's going to have a nice colonial look to it. It's got a 4-pitch roof on it. We did the 2 roof lines just to give the building some character, give it that colonial look. So we think it's a really nice looking building. I hope the commission thinks the same, and we will be respecting the architectural palette that's and making it consistent with the rest of the development, with the whole Stonebridge Crossing development and the residential development down behind it. We can go to the floor plan if you want now. So the floor plan, this being the end of the building that faces the street down here, we have 3 office spaces. Each one, just off the top of my head, I want to say there's 10 offices or so in each of them, with the reception area, ADA lavatories, break room, kitchen area, mechanical room, etc. There won't be any mechanicals on the roof of this thing. Everything's going to be split systems so that the roof line stays clean. Looks nice. It's an architectural roof, standing seam. The colors on the building, they're thinking, you know, like a slate gray on the light portions of the building, and a charcoal gray on the roof. So it'll have a dark roof. It'll have dark color trim. The light gray, I think, is going to be a really nice looking, contemporary colonial looking building. Any questions? Sure.
Could you go back to the pictures where it shows the color?
Yeah.
So there's another one that shows like a lot, and like that green there, what is that?
That's grass. So unfortunately, technology with rendering is not there where we can make it look exactly like it's going to look outdoors. But what you have here, this in fact is accurate in terms of the parking lot layout. This is the way it will appear to you. This green is just the horizon. It's just
How about
grass.
the next one? Could you go up one more? The other way, sorry. And that's grass?
That is not going to be grass. We only rendered our piece of property. That's Goddard School. There's going to be an island right there, and on the other side of the island will be Goddard's parking.
Okay. I think the building looks nice. I have some concerns. I went through the plantings, and to be honest with you, I had to use a microscope to read these things. It's a pretty small version, but out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
Nobody
on the
gave you
top-
one of the full-size ones? I submitted like
No, it's-
6 of them.
No, that's fine. But out of the top 6, 3 of them are not native. The only native rhododendron in New England is called Rose Bay, and you don't have that. And we just finished this POCD, and number 11 says, use native plants was added as a goal, not a regulation, but a goal for chapter 6.
We
So
would be happy to accommodate the achievement of that goal.
Okay, can I get that in writing?
Absolutely.
All
You-
right, that
you
would be
guys,
great.
I mean,
I've asked for a lot
if
of
you
things.
want to,
Okay, just
Once he
to,
says it, he doesn't have to put it in writing.
yeah.
Okay.
No, let me put it this way. We're very flexible in terms of we make suggestions. It's not uncommon for me to talk with the town conservation commission or the inland wetlands folks, and they want to have certain species of certain plants. And as
Right.
long as they're similar in terms of caliper size, and we're not talking about plants that are 5 times the cost. I mean, it's much of a muchness. We're more than happy to accommodate. You know, if you have a committee that would like to participate,
no, I just, no.
we're happy to do that.
My point is, I hear this all the time.
Yeah.
The developer will come before me and say, yeah, we're gonna do this, and not once in the 4 years I've been here has anyone ever come back and said, we did that, we you know, it's been done, these are the plants that were
Well,
planted.
I just point out that I've
I-
never said that to you before.
You have not. I'm just frustrated with past experiences, so I would like to urge you to use native plants as much as possible. I can't make you do it,
Yeah.
but if it would become common
We
practice.
we absolutely will. If you guys wanted to make that a condition of approval, for instance, in your motion, I'm happy.
I'll do that.
I would accept it.
Okay, thank you. I'm done.
Mrs. Strollo?
Anybody else got any questions for him?
So, trying to understand how the building works. So each section is its own entity?
That's correct. So if you look at the front of the building there,
Because I
you
was
just
looking
had
at the
a,
layout
actually,
of the-
yeah, let's look
I
at
just looked
the.
at the layout, okay.
Let's,
So
okay,
each entrance,
yes.
so each one has 2 bathrooms, like a, for.
Yeah, so
each
they're all
one.
basically the same
So
thing.
there's
You have
3 or
a,
4? That's what I'm trying to understand.
there's 3.
Okay, okay. I was- all
Right,
that's
so
what-
the one on the top of the screen right there is the owner's suite. You can see he's actually got 2 lobbies, one on the end of the building and one on the front of the building. There's 2 points.
That's what was confusing me.
Yeah.
I thought that there was 4.
Yeah, there's
So-
two points
so
of
there's
entry
2
in that
there,
unit.
2 bathrooms, so for
Yeah.
each, okay. That's what I was
Absolutely,
trying
yeah.
to figure out. Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions? Any members of the public?
This is
No,
a
I'm
site
sorry,
plan
sorry, the site-
review.
I'm sorry. Yes, never mind.
Mr. Chairman, I have a motion in the affirmative, if you want to read, with actually a change to add Casey's concern, if that's okay. A motion to approve application for site plan approval on behalf of Richard Hall applicant. Applicants requesting site plan approval per section 30, Schedule A, number 49 of the zoning regulation for professional office at 104 Stonebridge Court, Assessors Map 3, Lot 57, Zone ICSDD. The commission finds, based on the presentation and documents provided, the applicant demonstrated compliance with the Cheshire zoning regulations. The approval is based on plans titled Stonebridge Office Building prepared by Borghese Building and Engineering Associates with a revision date of December 2nd, 2025. Approval subject to the following condition: all native plants are to be changed to, all non-native plants are to be changed to native species. Final plan shall incorporate this in the landscaping plan.
So moved.
Motion was made and seconded. Any comments, concerns?
You're welcome. Yeah, we're happy to accommodate in that way. That's pretty easy.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, commissioners, staff. Thank you.
New business?
I shouldn't stand up too stiff.
What?
I would continue with the discussion. You did receive a document from the town
I
attorney.
think I did it after the meeting, but not before the meeting.
Yeah, so I'm going to give you my letter which addresses that, which cites research done to back up the letter in direct quotes, and Matt has a file that has like 30 pages of research, which involves some of the other procedures that we should be following, and would like to sit down with staff and clarify those. But if you would agree to my summary of the letter to you, which was basically, the town attorney said he objected to me coming to the meeting because I hadn't been sworn in. And my response is to cite the laws and the Freedom of Information statutes which say it's not his, there's nobody here that can make that other than the full commission. And then I did write the letter, and I will probably present it to another body on another day, but I think you should be aware for future that the town attorney, nor anybody else other than the full commission by vote, can permit people into or exclude them from executive session.
Duly noted.
Someday I'll tell you the history behind it. I would also like to say that I have had to object twice so far, and in 40 years, I've never been in that situation. I'm not necessarily an obstructionist, but I'm not hesitant to disagree if I don't agree.
Don't mind too.
No, good, okay. What are you saying objecting to? You said I've had to object, what do you?
Like today, I voted no.
Oh,
And what would you propose? Do you have a proposal?
The proposal is that you're aware, and should anything like that happen in the future, 2 years from now, the person elected, if there's an issue coming in your executive session that he should be a part of, he can be permitted by the statutes that I cited, plus, like I said, Matt and I have copies of a whole bunch more.
Understood. But there was also a second reason, which I would have, which if it did come up, I would vote that you not attend, in that there was an executive session for that, for the members. But as not being a member at that time, you were not a defendant in the suit. And as the commission, as defendants, we're speaking with lawyer-client privilege. Had you been there, that would have been waived, and I would have voted against you attending, not because I want to keep anything from you, but just to preserve
Had
the
I
attorney-client.
choose, I think I could have argued that you never had the lawyer-client privilege, but that's not for this meeting.
But you also have the charter. He was not sworn in, so therefore, over the charter, he could not take part of the business. That's the other point that Attorney D'Onofrio made at our meeting a month ago. So you have two things, an FOI issue, but you also have the charter. The charter is very clear. Until you're sworn in, you're not a member.
Understood, but I don't think the argument is that he couldn't,
isn't
he didn't want to be in
about
because he wasn't a
member.
member. His argument was that we could have voted to have let him in as a commission.
So,
It was
As an
against,
invited guest.
against counsel's advice.
yeah, which you're discussing the settlement of, or potential settlement of a lawsuit with the commission. I agree with Attorney D'Onofrio on that. That
One-
would be a situation of which opens the town up for some issues from an appeal, because then other members of the public could say, why were they not invited? What makes this person more deserving than me? So that's why, in an executive session, when you're discussing legal matters, it's just the sitting commission, those sworn in only, and staff or
And
other
understanding your
experts.
point and understanding Jim's point is that I think what you're saying that you would have wanted the board to have voted
Because I
on.
was going to
Right.
end up voting
Right.
on that issue, I was gonna need to have as much intelligent information. And if you think about the irony, if someone term was expired, and they weren't even gonna vote, they were permitted in the room.
Correct.
You could have invited me saying, we know you're gonna have to vote on this next month. You should hear what our options are. It's a mute issue. I'm not gonna pursue that issue any farther, other than to make some other people aware of it possibly, but nothing to pursue.
And just telling you that if I had been chairman and the vote had come before me, I would have voted to exclude you from the meeting. Not because I wanted to, but because, A, council advised it, and B, that I agree with staff that we would have been left open. But in the future, I would have allowed that vote, but I think the result would have been the same. Any new business?
Mike, it's been about 2 months. Do we have an update on the development across from Byron's as far as the bus turnoff?
The bus turnoff's there.
Is it? Where?
It's on the northern emergency exit. They have a cut into the curve line. You could see it.
Okay. I thought that was just part of the exit, but okay.
No, it's
That
it's
is
up.
actually it?
That's what they said they were gonna do.
Any update on the exit?
They still have COs. I mean, we can ask for modifications to that exit to accommodate the concern.
Okay. I just want to point out again, the commission was pretty
can't
adamant.
hear you,
The
Jeff.
commission was pretty adamant about that, so I don't want them to get out of that requirement. Because we did.
Understand.
And again, I'm just pointing out Hartford Healthcare, we brought that up. State said they didn't have to do it, so they didn't have to. So we worded it that regardless of the town engineer, the fire department, the state, whatever, they still had to do it.
We made that non-mountable, that curb cut going out. The curb itself going out was non-mountable, so that people couldn't make that left turn. That was your concern, correct?
Yeah.
No, that was, oh no, that was
Jeff.
That was
That was Joe.
absolutely discussed.
Yeah,
Because that was
yeah,
my
yeah.
concern too.
Did you say COs have been given out for that?
No, they have a CO for the first 2 buildings. They still have 3 more buildings to go. And honestly, they posted a bond for some of the outstanding work, and, you know, they were coming in during the winter, the plants were closed, so we gave them the ability to come back in the spring and do that. We
Have people
still-
moved in there yet?
Yeah, there's people living in there,
Okay.
in the first 2 buildings, but, I mean, there's been no issues whatsoever. And they're aware that they have to make the modifications come this incoming construction season. So, because they did the sidewalk, the crossings there, we're waiting for DOT to energize the actual lights there on Fieldstone.
Have you seen like their rental agreement or any of that? Like,
They-
we talked about
They have to do
fact
an
that they're in
annual
industrial zone.
report. They have to do an annual report to us, so I'll ask that at that time.
Well, it was supposed to be before anyone moves in there because they're in an industrial zone with a restaurant across the street. With weather like today, I know
They're
you
out.
guys are gonna get flooded, and they have to understand they're in an industrial zone, and
Well, it's interesting to make that point because there's a bill that's been proposed that is scheduled for a public hearing on Wednesday, actually, in the General Assembly, that says basically allows for housing in industrial zones. If it previously was zoned for residential uses or previously allowed residential uses, it allows for housing to be approved by a summary review, which is basically a site plan. So
if-
all of your concerns will be magnified if that becomes law.
So if this bill passes,
In other words, our exemption under 830G right now in our industrial zones
Goes
no
away.
longer applies. Everything's been rezoned to residential.
so the public would need to understand that all of Route 10 in that area would be, if this passes, would be fair game for these
Fair
apartment
game with
buildings.
no density. If you read the bill and it's proposed, there is no density standards whatsoever.
Wow.
And like I said, it's scheduled for a hearing on Wednesday, so just stay tuned, and I will keep the commission
Thank you.
updated. Along with, the other thing, just to give you a heads up, the accessory dwelling units. Remember, when I started, we had to change our accessory dwelling units and opt out. The opt-out provision is being taken away. So the state standards will apply, should that become law. That also is scheduled for a public hearing on Wednesday. That proposal basically says all of those state standards, meaning 1,000 square feet, it could be attached, detached, and most importantly, we have in our regs, family only, can't be rented out. That will be removed, along with something that's very concerning, that the property owner is not required to reside at the property. So in theory, you can buy a property under this proposal, have a house, an accessory apartment, rent both places out and not live there.
So basically, sorry, I'll go on the record in saying this. So basically, within the next few years, besides a requirement for the town charter to have a planning and zoning commission, why be here? State's taking over.
That's, well, those are just proposed, so obviously they're going through the public hearing process, but it's something you should be made aware of and keep an eye on, because it will affect your day-to-day.
I just have general question. What's the status of the, for lack of a better word, Titanic building across from the bowling alley? What's it, Vessel? Vessel.
They are under a stop work order from the building department. I don't have any information other than that for you.
So there's nothing being done there now?
They're doing corrective actions and dealing with the building department, and I should say the fire marshal too. But that's all.
Did they put the generator in that we
Nope.
approved?
Nope, they have other issues too.
So there's nothing going on there. Okay, thank you.
Anything further?
Are there any other developments that are like going through as far as the farm down by the veterinarian hospital? That's Jack's Farm. That's going.
Yep.
But the one, wasn't there another one after that that was? No? That
No,
was
it
the
just
only-
said Jack's
So
Farm by-
that's the final one of the 700?
Yep. And so once Metro's complete,
Yeah.
between the numbers at Metro, Lakeside, Hazel Drive,
The
and
Lakeside's completed right now.
that's
right?
complete.
Yeah.
And East Mitchell, we qualify for a moratorium with the Department of Housing. I've reached out to the Department of Housing to get information on the process. I'm ready to go as soon as COs are issued.
No legislation to get rid of that either?
Well, that's the wild card of the mix. That could be taken away.
I asked if there's legislation to get rid of that also, because that would
Yeah,
be,
once we hit
that
the
would be,
number.
that would be the norm, so.
And then didn't we get the award for the busiest in the state of Connecticut?
Yep.
Number one.
As far as what?
The busiest in development. Number one. But, I don't know. I still think that they'll deter to other towns now. I really do. Because there's a lot of other attractiveness. Like I know Woodbridge has opened up, which I feel that that's gonna be a big one. And then the shoreline communities, it's like, I don't know, I think that they've gotten enough out of us. I really don't feel like they're gonna be coming back, so. That's my feeling.
Any further new business? The motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.